Washington, D.C., July 24, 2025. Amid increasingly tense trade negotiations between the United States and Japan, a senior U.S. official has issued a stern warning that could have sweeping economic consequences for both countries. Ann Besant, a close aide to the U.S. trade representative and an advisor to President Trump on international trade, remarked during a press briefing, "We could go back to 25%, including cars, if the president isn't happy." Her statement, though brief, sent ripples across diplomatic and financial circles on both sides of the Pacific. The comment, which appeared to be aimed directly at Japan's current stance in ongoing tariff discussions, suggests that Washington may be prepared to reinstate steep tariffs, including those on Japanese automobile exports, if it deems Japan's trade policies too uncooperative. Backdrop: Japan-US trade in a new Trump era. Since President Donald Trump returned to the White House following his 2024 re-election, his administration has taken a tougher stance on international trade, especially with countries running trade surpluses with the United States. Japan, long seen as a strategic partner yet a persistent trade surplus nation, has once again found itself in the crosshairs. Though previous administrations leaned on diplomatic maneuvering and multilateral trade agreements, Trump's trade team has resurrected more unilateral, pressure-heavy tactics. Besant's remark appears to be both a veiled threat and a reminder of the Trump administration's willingness to use tariffs as a tool for negotiation, or punishment. The 25% threat. A flashback to 2018. The number, 25%, is particularly significant. During Trump's first term, the administration imposed a 25% tariff on steel imports and threatened similar actions on automotive goods. While Japan narrowly escaped the harshest auto-related tariffs at the time through a combination of concessions and diplomacy, the scars from those talks still linger. Now, the suggestion of a reintroduction of those same auto tariffs brings back memories of a volatile era, one that Japanese automakers hoped they had left behind. Japan's top auto manufacturers, Toyota, Honda, Nissan, and Subaru, have substantial production and sales footprints in the U.S. The mere mention of a 25% tariff raises alarm bells, as it would significantly raise prices for consumers, disrupt supply chains, and potentially trigger retaliatory measures. Japan's response: unilateralism is unproductive. Japanese government officials have yet to formally respond to Besant's statement, but sources within the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry METI suggest that Tokyo is deeply concerned and assessing the seriousness of the U.S. warning. A senior Japanese trade negotiator, speaking on condition of anonymity, said, "The Japanese government believes that unilateral tariff threats are counterproductive in maintaining a stable and cooperative economic partnership. Any decision to reintroduce such punitive tariffs will be met with strong diplomatic pushback." Publicly, Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshihiko Noda stated earlier this week, "Japan stands for free, fair, and rules-based trade. We continue to engage in good faith with our American partners." Behind closed doors. The deadlock in negotiations. Negotiations between the two countries have been stuck on several key points, particularly U.S. demands for broader market access in Japan's agriculture and digital services sectors, and Japan's request for more exemptions on high-tech exports to the U.S. Amidst the stalemate, President Trump has reportedly grown impatient with Japan's reluctance to agree to U.S. terms. Insiders say Besant's comments reflect growing frustration inside the White House, with officials seeking to regain leverage. "This is classic Trump-era negotiation," said Professor Leonard Green, an international trade expert at Georgetown University. "They apply pressure publicly, float threats, and gauge the other side's response." Impact on auto industry and markets. The auto industry, particularly Japanese firms with heavy exposure to the U.S. market, reacted swiftly. Toyota Motor Corp. saw its stock price fall by 2.3% in Tokyo trading following Besant's statement. Analysts are now warning that further escalation could shave billions off market capitalizations and strain supply chains already weakened by global disruptions. If the 25% tariff is implemented, we estimate that Japanese car exports to the U.S. could drop by as much as 40% over the next year, said Miyako Tanaka, a senior analyst at Nomura Securities. That's not just bad for Japanese companies, it's bad for American car dealerships, parts suppliers, and workers too. Several American car dealers voiced concern over the potential fallout. Mike Sanders, owner of a Toyota dealership in Ohio, told reporters, "If this tariff goes through, it'll drive up prices for my customers and hurt my business. We've seen this movie before. And it doesn't end well. Political reactions in the US and Japan. In Washington, reactions to Bessant's statement were mixed. Republican allies of the president applauded the hardline stance, viewing it as a necessary push to level the playing field. Japan's been getting a free ride for too long, said Senator Rick Madison, R. Florida. It's time they open up their markets properly. But Democratic lawmakers criticized the threat. Tariff wars hurt American families, said Rep. Linda Romero, D. California. We should be building alliances, not blowing them up with trade grenades. In Tokyo, opposition lawmakers seized the moment to criticize Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's handling of the US-Japan relationship. This is the result of weak diplomacy, said Kenta Izumi of the Constitutional Democratic Party. The government should have anticipated these moves and built stronger safeguards. What comes next? While Bessant's statement may have been off the cuff, its implications are far-reaching. Diplomatic sources suggest that high-level talks are being arranged between U.S. Trade Representative Leslie Reagan and Japan's Foreign Minister Minoru Takeuchi as early as next week. There's cautious hope that diplomacy will prevail and that both sides will tone down rhetoric in favor of compromise. However, with the threat of tariffs hanging in the air, the path forward is anything but certain. Conclusion. A test of resolve and diplomacy. As Japan and the United States navigate this renewed period of trade tension, the stakes are high, not only for businesses and consumers, but for the broader strategic relationship between two key allies. Whether Bessant's statement was a negotiating tactic or a warning of real policy action remains to be seen. What's clear is that a misstep by either side could reignite a trade war with global ramifications. For now, all eyes are on the next round of negotiations, and on President Trump's mood.